Welcome, dear friends, to Elderly Care, where every moment honors the wisdom and strength of your journey. If you're new here, we are so grateful you've found us. Please consider subscribing to stay connected. And to our cherished subscribers, thank you for walking this path with us. If you find value in today's message, we invite you to like this video and share it with loved ones who may need it. Together, we can spread hope, care, and knowledge. Now, let us gently step into today's important topic, one that could quietly protect your health in ways you might not expect. As we age, our bodies often begin to whisper secrets of distress before they ever shout them. Sometimes, these whispers come as subtle signs, ones so easily overlooked that we dismiss them as mere inconveniences of getting older. But doctors urge us not to ignore certain itchy spots that could quietly hint at something more serious unfolding within. After years of study and patient stories, experts have found that there are 5 critical areas where itchiness in elderly individuals could signal the early warning signs of cancer. 1. The scalp. At first, it might feel like nothing. A small, persistent itch on the scalp, easily blamed on dry skin or a change in shampoo. However, when this itching refuses to go away, and perhaps even comes with flaky patches or unusual bumps, it could be the early signs of skin cancer, particularly basal cell carcinoma. Many seniors tend to overlook scalp issues because the area is hidden by hair, yet it remains one of the most vulnerable spots due to lifelong sun exposure. Doctors advise that any new or worsening scalp irritation, especially if accompanied by sores that don't heal, should be checked without delay. 2. The back. Another place often neglected is the back. As we grow older, the back becomes less visible to ourselves, and subtle changes easily escape notice. Chronic itching on the back, particularly when it is accompanied by redness, unusual moles, or a feeling of roughness under the skin, may indicate deeper skin abnormalities. Dermatologists have long warned that melanomas often develop silently on the back, making persistent itchiness there a sign worth investigating thoroughly. 3. The arms and elbows. When elderly individuals report constant itching on their arms or elbows, it is tempting to attribute it to dry skin or minor allergic reactions. Nevertheless, consistent discomfort in these areas could be related to early lymphoma. Cancer of the lymphatic system can cause the skin to itch intensely without visible rashes at first. Experts suggest that if moisturizing and regular skin care do not ease the itching, and if it persists for weeks, it warrants medical attention. Itching that comes from within, rather than from surface dryness, is a red flag that should not be ignored. 4. The chest area. A persistent itch on the chest, especially around the breasts or underarms, has also been linked to certain types of breast cancer. Itchiness might precede the appearance of more obvious symptoms like lumps or swelling. Some rare forms of breast cancer, such as inflammatory breast cancer, can initially manifest with skin changes and persistent irritation rather than a noticeable mass. Doctors emphasize that seniors should take any unusual sensations in the chest seriously, even if there are no visible signs initially. 5. The lower legs. Lastly, the lower legs are a common site where itching could signal deeper issues. For seniors, poor circulation often leads to dry, itchy skin in this area. However, persistent, localized itching that does not improve with moisturizing could point to something more ominous. Certain blood cancers, such as leukemia, have been associated with chronic itching in the lower legs. Additionally, because this area is prone to minor cuts and bruises, any itchy wound that fails to heal properly deserves careful examination by a healthcare professional. Each of these 5 areas, the scalp, back, arms and elbows, chest area and lower legs, carries its own silent message. The key is to listen, to stay vigilant, and to seek medical advice when the whispers become too consistent to ignore. When we think about these itchy spots, it is easy to feel a ripple of fear pass through our hearts. No one wishes to imagine that a small irritation could mean something far more serious. Yet, knowledge is power. In this stage of life, understanding the body's quiet signals is not about living in constant worry. It is about living with mindful attention, about honoring the wisdom our bodies have accumulated over decades. Doctors explain that early detection often draws the line between a difficult, uncertain journey and a hopeful recovery. In many cases, cancers discovered early can be treated far more successfully with better outcomes and less invasive measures. But to catch them early, we must cultivate a tender habit, the habit of noticing. Many elderly individuals have spent their lives caring for others, often placing their own needs last. There is a deep nobility in that. Yet now it is time to turn some of that kindness inward. Checking your own body regularly, paying attention to small changes, seeking help when something feels off. These are not acts of selfishness. They are acts of courage and of love for yourself and for those who still treasure your presence in their lives. Imagine for a moment an elderly woman named Mrs. Bennett. At 73, she had lived a vibrant life, filled with travels, family gatherings, and countless afternoons tending to her garden. One spring morning, she noticed an odd itch on her scalp while brushing her hair. She dismissed it at first, thinking it was merely the dry winter air lingering into the season. But the sensation grew more persistent. Remembering something she had once read, that the scalp could be an early site for skin cancer, she scheduled a dermatologist appointment. That decision changed her life. The doctor found a small basal cell carcinoma early enough that a simple outpatient procedure removed it completely. Mrs. Bennett continued to enjoy many more seasons in her garden, thanks to her willingness to listen to her body's whisper. Stories like Mrs. Bennett's are not rare. They remind us that vigilance does not mean panic. It simply means respect. Respect for the incredible vessel that has carried us through decades of storms and sunshine alike. For those who wonder how to distinguish ordinary dryness from more concerning itchiness, experts suggest a few guiding observations. Pay attention to persistence. Itchiness that lingers for weeks despite home remedies deserves a closer look. Notice if there are any associated symptoms. New bumps, sores that refuse to heal, discoloration, swelling, or unexplained changes in the skin's texture. These could all serve as early clues. Moreover, if the itch feels deep under the skin, rather than merely on the surface, it might signal something happening within the body's system, not just the skin itself. Trusting your instincts matters. If something feels unusual or unsettling, honor that feeling by seeking professional advice. Alongside the importance of noticing symptoms, doctors also emphasize lifestyle habits that support skin health and overall cancer prevention. Nourishing the body with a balanced diet rich in antioxidants, maintaining proper hydration, and protecting the skin from excessive sun exposure remain critical, even in later years. Simple habits such as applying moisturizer daily, wearing sunscreen, and dressing appropriately for the weather, can greatly reduce unnecessary skin stress, which in turn lowers overall risk. But beyond these physical steps lies a deeper, often overlooked realm: the emotional relationship with aging and illness. Many seniors carry an unspoken fear of becoming burdens to their families. Some downplay their symptoms, hoping to avoid troubling their loved ones. Others, influenced by years of cultural conditioning, see physical decline as an inevitable part of growing old and resign themselves to suffering in silence. Here, it becomes essential to gently shift the mindset. Aging does not mean surrendering to every discomfort. It means becoming an active participant in one's health journey. It means recognizing that you are still and always will be worthy of care, attention, and healing. When we talk about itchy spots or any subtle signs of disease, it is not to incite fear, but to plant seeds of empowerment. You have the right to advocate for your health. You have the right to ask questions, to seek second opinion, to expect respect from healthcare providers. And most importantly, you have the right to believe that your well-being matters profoundly. Take, for example, Mr. Harris, an 80-year-old retired teacher. He began experiencing persistent itching on his arms and initially dismissed it as nothing. But his granddaughter, a young nurse, urged him to mention it during his routine physical. Reluctantly, he brought it up. Blood tests and further examination revealed early-stage lymphoma. Because it was detected so soon, treatment was far less aggressive than it might have been later. Mr. Harris now spends his afternoons tutoring children at the local library, grateful that a simple conversation led to life-saving intervention. These quiet victories happen every day, often because someone chose to honor their discomfort instead of hiding it. One of the most empowering things seniors can do is to cultivate a small, simple habit: regular self-checks. Setting aside 10 minutes once a month to gently examine the skin, looking for changes, feeling for unusual textures, can be an invaluable practice. Mirrors can help for hard-to-see areas like the back. Some seniors find it helpful to ask a spouse, child, or close friend to assist, transforming what might feel like a clinical chore into a moment of connection and care. Another important tool is education. Understanding the types of cancers most common in elderly populations, skin cancers, lymphomas, breast cancers, and their early signs equips individuals to recognize when something is amiss. Workshops at senior centers, online resources from trusted health organizations, and conversations with healthcare providers can all serve as valuable sources of knowledge. Beyond physical health, however, lies another critical layer: the spirit. Chronic worry about illness can dampen the joy of living. Thus, balance becomes vital. Be aware, but not obsessed. Be attentive, but not fearful. Let awareness be the quiet background hum that allows you to live more freely, not the heavy chain that drags you down. The body, after all, is only part of the story. The spirit, your courage, your hope, your laughter, your memories, that is what truly defines you. Doctors who work closely with elderly patients often speak of the incredible resilience they witness daily. Men and women in their 70s, 80s, and 90s who face new diagnoses with grace and grit, who adapt and thrive despite physical challenges. This resilience is not an accident. It grows from years of living, from facing hardships, and finding ways to keep moving forward. If you find yourself grappling with the fear that an itchy spot could mean something terrible, remember, knowledge equips you, early action empowers you, and support surrounds you. Whether through family, friends, or professional caregivers, you are not alone in your health journey. It might be helpful to think of your body as an old, beloved house. Over time, cracks may appear, paint may fade, but the structure, the spirit, remains strong.